Alright, hey guys, welcome back. My name is Katie. I'm adding up Addingtons, and today I am talking about how do you get the existing kids in your home ready to be a foster family. So stick around. If you are new around here, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I would love for you to hit that subscribe button down below and stick around with us. We talk about all kinds of things over here because we do a lot of things as a family, and we are a lot of people, and we just love to share all of our adventures with you. Sorry guys, I'm sitting outside, so there's like cars and kids and dogs and all the things. So if you are new here and you just clicked through because you are watching videos about foster care and getting ready and getting prepared, welcome. Make sure you check out our other foster care and adoption videos down below. We are former foster parents and we are an adoptive family now. So we started foster care in 2016, and I've had several people ask me, like, how do you get the kids already in your home prepared to do foster care, or how do you help them process that information, or how do you get them ready? So when we started foster care in 2016, we had 3 biological children at that point. Gavrel was just turning 5, Declan was just turning 3, and Kavannah was just turning 1. Whether you have little kids or older kids, I know when our final placement came in, it was over a full year later. So the kids were a little bit older. They had been through this a couple times. They knew a little bit better what to expect. So how do you get your kids ready to welcome new kids into their home, into their family, into their space? How do you do that? So first, I will say that just as a general rule, kids know what they see. They will know what they are used to. So that idea of hospitality and generosity and like, yes, we are going to share what we have, and we have more than enough, so we are going to share it with somebody else. Or we have a really great situation, we have a big home, we have enough love to give other people, we have the ability to drive people around to appointments, all of those things. That is caught and not taught. So for us, leading up to this, our kids were used to having company, whether just for dinner or overnight. They were used to people coming into our home and being with us and playing with us and eating with us and sleeping in our house and just being around. So that idea of openly giving and hosting and being hospitable to people was a concept that already existed in their lives. So that was already a familiar thing, and this was just taking it another step for them. I know also, just as a general principle, we try to really stress to our kids that we are so blessed. We have everything that we need and other fun things as well, and so we have a responsibility to use the things that God gives us to be God's ambassadors to the world. So what we have is gifted to us by God, and it is our job then to go out and share it, just as a general principle, whether with our house or our stuff or our money or our time. What we have is a gift, and the more we have, the more responsibility we have to share. So that is a general life principle that we taught our kids, and I think that that ended up being really important to our kids, because they extended that not only to, like, hey, we have a bed that somebody can sleep in, hey, we have seats in our car that people can ride in, but it became, hey, we have family and we can share that. It became like we have the ability to love people as our siblings. So those general principles ended up being such a huge part of our kids' ability to process the concept of foster care and how to do that. Something else I want to share as you are talking to your own kids about foster care or getting them ready is something that somebody shared with me during a completely unrelated situation. It was a friend of mine who's a professional counselor. I was asking her about, like, how do I approach this situation with my kids? What do I tell them? How do I explain it? And she gave me some of the best advice I have ever been given as a parent. And it is absolutely pertinent to foster care, so I'm going to share it here. And that is to only answer the direct question that your child is asking. So a lot of times as the adults, we know the whole situation, and we know the causes and the effects and the backstory and just sort of the whole shebang, if you will. And so when a child asks us a question, our brain immediately starts filing through, like, the whole flashback movie scene of what led to that situation. And so our brain starts trying to sort through all of that information and make sense of it and come up with language for it and do all of that. And really, most of the time, that's not what children are actually asking. So for example, they might say, hey, where is so-and-so's mom? And your brain, as the adult with all the background information, immediately starts thinking through. This is a totally hypothetical situation, so I'm not, like, giving away anybody's stories or anything like that. But, they might say, hey, where is so-and-so foster child's mom? And, our adult brains immediately jump into, well, maybe she got caught doing drugs and then she's in prison and she's waiting for a hearing, but she might be in prison for a long time and we don't know, and it depends on the police and all. Like, that's what is going through our brains, and what the kids are probably actually asking, especially the younger the kid, the simpler the questions tend to be. But what they really want to know is, like, well, they live on the other side of town. Most of the time, they're not asking for the whole backstory. They're asking a simple question. And so if the question is, where is so-and-so's mom? It might just be, well, she's at home. She's at work. She can't be at home right now. And there may be follow-up questions to that, but those can each be answered as simply as possible in turn. They're not asking for the entire backstory. They're just asking simple questions. So this was what my friend as a counselor who told me, like, just answer the direct question that they are asking as simply as possible, because most of the time they're not asking for the whole backstory. And a lot of times they don't care about the whole backstory, honestly. Kids are a lot more forgiving and compassionate than adults sometimes, I think. So that has been hugely helpful, whether in foster care situations or answering questions about big social events, or, conflicts with people. That has just become a go-to technique in general for us. And then finally, I think specifically one of the things you want to talk about with your kids when you're starting foster care and throughout the process is the idea of being a team as a family. We actually have, when our kids start bickering to each other, we'll be like, hey guys, remember? Team Addington. We are on Team Addington. Because it will be especially if you are fostering older kids, there will be some who use a strategy of driving wedges between people and manipulating relationships, and they will try to turn your kids against you and against each other and you against your spouse. And that's a reality. And so you need to go into this with the mindset that, hey, we are on a team, and start using whatever language that is for you before kids get to your home. So make sure that your kids know that they are on your team and that you are on their team going into this. And yes, the goal is to welcome foster children into your team and teach them how to be part of a team, but let your children know that you are starting out as a team, and that you are for them, and that you are with them, and that they are an important part of your team, that they have an important role to play alongside you. A little bit more specifically, this idea of being on the same team, make the time to have one-on-one conversations with your kids. Ask them open-ended questions like, hey, what are some things you've been talking about recently? Or what do you love about foster child? Throughout the process, as you're going through licensing classes, ask them what kind of questions they have. Share with them some of your training information. As kids are coming in, continue to check in with them. Ask them how they're feeling. Ask them what's going on. Kids will see and hear and notice things that you don't or can't sometimes. Kids will tell other kids things that they won't say to adults. So your kids are an important part of being your eyes and ears in this process, and they will be an important part of your team. If you are doing these things, if you are making them part of your team, if you are having regular check-in conversations, they will know if they find themselves in a situation where they feel cornered or worried or unsafe. They will know that you are a safe place to come. They will be comfortable coming and talking to you or sharing that information with you, and they will have the mindset not of, gosh, I might get in trouble, but like, hey, we're on the same team trying to help this other person, and I need to tell them this. So that's why it's important to build that team mindset from the beginning, from really early on. The general concepts of generosity, hospitality, and stewardship are caught, not taught. Kids learn these things by watching you do them. They are probably asking simpler questions than you realize. So give them simple answers to the direct questions that they're asking. And finally, develop a team mindset where you can check in on your children, and your children are a valuable part of working with foster kids. You will be thankful for both sides of that. So thanks for being here. Let me know what other questions you have about foster care in the comments, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe.